So I'll start with yourself, Councillor.
By introducing yourself.
Oh,
please.
first, hi, I'm Brendan from Alberta. I'm Brendan Miller. I'm counsel for Freedom Corp, of which is an organization that represents the protesters as well as the truckers that were in your city in 2022. So, Mr. Fleury, I want to start just asking you a few questions, if you don't mind. Do you remember sending an email on February 4th, 2022 to Kim Ayotte, Steve Kalinakokis, Keith Egile, Serge Arpin, Lucio Coulard, and Liberal Member of Parliament for Ottawa, Senator Yazir Naqvi, with a tweet from the former federal attorney general, Mr. Alan Rock, that stated the city should obtain an injunction to restrain the truck horns on the basis of nuisance. Do you remember sending that email?
Yes.
All right. And I understand that Mr. Ayotte, General Manager for Emergency and Protective Services for the City of Ottawa, replied to you. Is that right?
I don't believe so. I believe the answer came from Steve K.
From Steve K himself?
I believe.
Okay. And from your recollection, what was that answer?
All options are being looked at.
Okay.
Can the witness see the document? Is there a reason we are not putting it to him?
I was just asking if you remembered, and I'm not permitted to because I didn't seek leave prior. So that's under the rules. So in your evidence, you made use of a term you referred to as microaggression. Is that right?
I believe so, multiple times.
Okay. Is microaggression, is your understanding of that it means verbal and environmental slights?
Je suis francophone, donc si vous voulez être spécifique sur les mots, il va falloir que vous...
I'm francophone, so if you want to ask me specific things about words, you're going to have to ask me in French. You're asking me a theory about how to define something. Unfortunately, my knowledge of English terminology is perhaps not sufficiently appropriate, Commissioner.
Je m'appelle Brendan.
My name is Brendan.
I think, you know, it is funny, but it's not. I am doing my very best to answer clear questions in English. You asked me a very specific question on a definition. I'm saying, ask me, clarify in French, and I'm glad to specify if it is yes or no. The specificity of the nuance of a word, I'm uncomfortable in responding to your question.
What of the words that I put to you, and there's a few, so means, verbal, and environmental, and slights is confusing? Is there, which one are you confused about?
J'ai expliqué plusieurs fois.
I've already explained try to express this, and I've explained this to the Commissioner, that to my mind, everything in the periphery of the red zone was what I would describe as being microaggressions. I could describe microaggressions to you. For example, go in front of somebody and pull their mask off. I don't know how we want to describe that as a definition, but that's an example of a microaggression. Walking into a restaurant, being asked to leave and sitting down without having a right to stay, that's another microaggression. Fighting somebody who's homeless, beating somebody who's homeless, that's another microaggression, another type of aggression. Making so much noise at such high volumes that you have to close down a daycare, that's another kind of aggression. That's how I've described aggressions, Commissioner. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a background in specifics, but I'm trying to use the terminology that I can to be as specific as possible to describe what I received as information and what I was able to see.
Get him a pair of these so he can understand what I'm saying in English as well, please.
Oh, that's mean.
Is that possible?
Oh, God, they're so hateful.
Do you need this? Would you like one of these for when I question you in English, because I'm unfortunately incapable of speaking French?
And I will do my very best to answer in English, but it was a very, I don't need it, thank you.
Okay, thank you.